according to CNN.com. CNN.com. Clarifying promised rules on female eligibility. Track and field's governing body set a September 1st deadline Wednesday for athletes to pass a gene test for competing in the World Championships. World Athletics said in March it will require chromosome testing by cheek swabs or dry blood spot tests for female athletes to be eligible for elite level events. The next World's Open, September 13th in Tokyo and September 1st, is the quote closing date for entries and the date the regulations come into effect, end quote. World Athletics said in a statement. The latest rules update gives certainty for the 2025 championships in an issue that has been controversial on the track and in multiple courts since Caster Semenya won her first 800 meters world title as a teenager in 2009. This is Semenya right here, by the way. Caster Semenya. Semenya won a ruling at the European Court of Human Rights 3 weeks ago in Strasbourg, France, in the South Africa Stars years-long challenge to a previous version of track and field's eligibility rules affecting athletes with medical conditions known as differences in sex development, also known as DSD. That legal win came because she did not get a fair hearing at the Swiss Supreme Court, but did not overturn track's rules. World Athletics drew up rules in 2018, forcing two-time Olympic champion Semenya and others athletes with DSD to suppress their elevated natural testosterone levels to be eligible for international women's events. Semenya refused to take the medication, which I totally agree with. World Athletics has combined its eligibility framework for DSD and transgender athletes with transitional rules that let, quote, a very small number of known DSD athletes, end quote, continue competing if they are taking medication to suppress national testosterone. I want to read that report in its entirety before I got to it, just so we all know the facts. With that being said, this is Cordis Semenya. Did I say her name right? Did I say her name right? Let me put some respect on her name. Caster Semenya. It's her name, from South Africa. Now they're saying she is testing to have too much testosterone in her blood. So they're asking her. Now, she is a natural-born female, but she just has a lot of testosterone, which they call DSD. Development sex. What they call it? Let me make sure I'm clear with that. Differences in sex development. She's a woman with differences in sex development, DSD. So she has more testosterone than the average woman. Not enough to be a male, but she is also born a female, a natural born female. And there's a few athletes like that. So World Athletics is basically saying, okay, you can compete, but we're going to need you to take medication to keep that testosterone down, just to level the playing field. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. If this is naturally how you were born and you ain't taking nothing to boost your testosterone and it's naturally proven that you haven't, this is just how you were born, let her compete. I'd rather this than a man somebody who's born a man to do something just to change their organs and their looks to be a woman just to compete in women's sports. No, or let's say and compete in women's sports. It's not fair. Let's not do that. That's what I got to speak up against. So with that being said, Semenya, natural born woman, higher testosterone, give it to her. Also, have you noticed they're only testing women athletes to see if you're actually a woman? Let's say you happen to be a natural born woman who transitioned into a male and you want to compete. Not only is that rare, but if it does happen and you make it to the Olympic level, for one, you're very, very talented and athletic in your sport. But for two, people don't really expect that because men naturally are stronger, faster, and more athletic than women, genetically speaking. That's not to be a misogynist or anything. So, with that being said, they had to do it the other way around just because. You're not seeing announcements of the other way where they're testing men to see if you're naturally born man. And I respect it. I get it personally, but I don't know if women take offense. So let me know what you think. Go off in the live chat, in the comments, or call into the show. 313-4